Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Don't run, don't hide, don't be shy. Just like, comment, and please subscribe.
I mean, dealing with the stress, I mean, dealing with the pain. Trying to find a way.
We're back. NFL's preseason week 2. Lego. Titans edge out the Falcons. Pretty boring first half with the first points of the game coming from the defense, scoring a pick 6. Second half started to pick up as Tennessee and Atlanta started to march up and down the field, and they were actually able to walk away with a couple of field goals. But ultimately, the Falcons couldn't walk away with the W by being able to tie up the game with a field goal, so Tennessee takes it. Seahawks smack the Chiefs. Sam Darnold looking okay, but he just, to me, looks like always going to shit himself. So that didn't go away. Granted, it's only the preseason, but damn, the Packers were looking way more impressive than the Chiefs. It's got me feeling a lot better about the Seahawks' depth. Packers beat the Colts. Daniel Jones looking much more impressive this time around in this first quarter. A couple of nice throws and completions. He did have an early fumble, but he was able to recover it. Despite the drives, Jones wasn't able to walk away with 6 though. Then comes Anthony Richardson, who's also looking more impressive this week. Love to see him throwing the ball, showing the improved accuracy. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but he's definitely come a long way than he was last season. He even had a nice escape from a sack and getting himself a first down. And while he didn't throw a touchdown pass, he did leave a touchdown drive. While the Indiana Colts have already chosen Daniel Jones as their starting QB, I think that AR definitely showcased that he's moving in the right direction, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his job back. Patriots beat the Vikings. Drake made the pass looking good, getting up and down the field with the second drive being a touchdown. Drake, while not like a legit dual threat quarterback, he definitely has some mobility to him. And the kid's got an arm. Wasn't able to see JJ McCarthy play, but I'm sure we'll see glimpses of him next week. Viking backup Sam Howell, the Vikings backup, ended up leading the drives that day, and let's just say he had less than success throwing that pick. Exciting first half with a fizzle out for the second, so hey, Pats win. Dolphins beat the Lions. Pretty boring start with the Lions struggling to get up the field. Miami made it at least a little bit more interesting because they had more consistent receivers. Had a couple of fumbles that they were lucky enough to recover, but they did end up striking iron and getting the touchdown first. And the Lions were able to respond with a touchdown of their own. Tesla having a pretty nice touchdown catch as well. But all in all, both these teams, they showed that they got some pretty nice depth. Nice for them for this NFL season. Browns beat the Eagles. I can't lie, Dylan Gabriel, he did his thing. Looked nice, he had several completions, he was throwing some lasers. He did have an interception and a fumble. Technically, it was the running back, but he still led a touchdown drive, and all in all, he still looked impressive. All things considered, I mean, not too much to say for the Eagles. Their depth is looking solid as always, but despite that, they just weren't able to put away the Browns. The QB race only got more interesting, and with them announcing Joe Flacco as their starter and Shedeur still sitting at number 4, I can see that these guys are definitely going to be trying to see what these guys can do throughout the season this year, and by the 2026 season, we'll definitely see either Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel find a home somewhere else. That's just my Texans baby shake the Panthers. CJ Stroud, he was struggling to connect with his receivers throughout the game, but he was able to finally get himself a nice connection with Nico Collins for a 4th and goal touch. CJ Stroud struggled to connect with his receivers, but he was finally able to connect with Nico Collins for a 4th and goal touchdown. Nick Chubb showing even more so why he is, in fact, in the running for a top-tier running back. The Panthers weren't really able to get much of anything going pretty much the entire game. I mean, it's the Panthers, and granted it is the preseason, but again, like I keep saying in these videos, it's just exposing their level of depth, which it ain't that deep, looking pretty shallow. 49ers edge out the Raiders. Brock Purdy playing like he got a point to prove. He went for several throws and completions marching up and down the field. And Geno Smith wasn't doing too bad either. Had a nice little deep connection to Brock Bowers. Max Crosby and the Raiders defense making the Niners look like their run game was trash. Granted, C-Mac wasn't out there, but it was still just a nice performance. Ashton Jesse also having a couple of hype plays. Probably one of the better preseason watches. I had a lot of fun with this one, so can't wait to see what they do next week, and even more so what they do throughout the real season. Rams just barely beat the Chargers. Stetson Bennett looking good in the Rams system. It was nice to see him throw a couple of touchdowns and look pretty confident and very suave inside of that system. He did throw a pick, which certainly didn't help. But all in all, he's a solid backup, especially when we're still kind of in the dark about Matt Stafford's condition. I know that they said that he's back to practice, but again, we still don't really know to what extent this back injury is. On the Chargers side of the ball, we're seeing that Trey Lance, again, proving why he is a solid backup for this Chargers offense. But then on the Chargers side of the ball, we're seeing that Trey Lance again being a solid backup for the Chargers offense. He may be sitting behind Justin Herbert, but you know that if the man goes down, they've got a quarterback that can gun it to him. Even let a touchdown drive for Raheem Sanders to go ahead and score. But a solid preseason game that showed a decent level of depth of the Chargers and the Rams. Bucks beat the Steelers. Mason Rudolph throwing them picks, showing why they need to go ahead and get old man Rodgers. He did redeem himself by coming back and scoring a touchdown, so that cancels it out. But all in all, still, and like everybody else would say, the Steelers' QB room at this moment is much to be desired. Or should I say, doesn't leave much to be desired. Or is it leaves much to be desired? I think it leaves much to be desired because there isn't much to desire. Masuki Dookie Doo babies. Bridgewater coming out of retirement and literally coming from his couch to throwing touchdowns is pretty insane. More so conceptually than literally. Seeing what that school did to that man for supporting a bunch of kids, I don't think that was right. So I think this is just pretty heartwarming. But in terms of the lookout for Shiloh, still not much to see. With the corner position, the Bucks are running thinner and thinner when it comes to their depth, but if Shiloh doesn't show out, I don't know if he's going to be on the roster. Granted, I think he might be there just because they have, a real need for somebody that understands the system, and he's already there and has been there. Shiloh's just going to have to show up, though. He's going to have to really step up and show out, and I'm sure he's already trying to do that, but Shiloh, whatever it might be, there might be that might be in your bag of tricks that you haven't quite pulled out yet, but, bruh, pull it out now. Pull it out, go find something, film something. But we need to see something so you can be able to go ahead and cement yourself in this league as a real threat. Giants slap the Jets. Jackson Dart continuing to emerge as the star that a lot of people saw coming, but I certainly did not. But I'm happy for the man. The man is starting to grow on me, and I'm starting to believe the hype. The swag, the confidence, the play style. He just got it. Again, I still think that the Giants should have selected Shador, but clearly they didn't make a bad choice by getting Jackson. After impressive week 1 performance, Justin Field didn't really get much going this week. I mean, you could literally see the disappointment in his eyes for not being able to take his team where he thought he should have. This is still just a preseason, but we can only hope that this week was just a hiccup and not a peak of the old Justin Field starting to rear its head. Ravens raid the Cowboys. Cooper Rush taking advantage of his old Cowboy mates. It's funny, this guy really thought that this man was better than Dak Prescott. But with his 2 interceptions to his 1 touchdown, I don't think necessarily Dallas is missing him, but they sure ain't happy with his replacement. Joe Milton connected on a couple of deep passes, which is impressive, but all in all, my man's was inaccurate and inefficient. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys' depth is looking absolutely atrocious, and you must know that if Dak goes down again, you guys are once again doomed to miss another playoff. Broncos slapped the Cardinals. The Broncos depth chart to me just got a massive upgrade. Not that it's changed, but in terms of perception-wise, because last week wasn't bad, but just this week they had a much better performance. Granted, we didn't see Bo play, but we did see, what's his name? Jarrett Stidham? Yeah, he played his ass off. Yeah, 16 for 23, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Stidham to me, I feel, is kind of like Trey Lance or Tyson Bagent, which is that, yeah, they're backup quarterbacks, but you know that if the starter were to go down, you can have a sigh of relief because they've got this shit covered. It was extremely rudimentary and unpolished, and I get it. I'm an armchair coach, but not a good showcasing for Arizona's depth. Saints tied with the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence struggled a bit, but his last drive was pretty impressive. He was poised and patient. He even had a pretty nice escape. He got himself a first down. Had himself a nice little touchdown drive, and I'm still waiting to see this generational talent that people are saying, but the kid's clearly got a pretty bright future, and I don't think that Florida should give up on him yet. Duval. Meanwhile, the chaos in New Orleans continues. Tyler Shuck was trying his darndest to make something happen. I feel bad for the guy because I feel like he was fairly accurate. His receivers just couldn't quite pull it down. I can't tell if it's bad chemistry or what, but they just were not connected. No turnovers, no touchdowns. Meanwhile, Spencer Rattler clearly heard the criticism because my man's went out there and played with a chip on his shoulder. He was able to rack up 200 yards in 2 quarters. He did throw a pick 6, which is going to be costly, but he's playing his heart out to get that starting job. And we're almost positive Spencer's got it. Bears smacked the shit out of the Bills. Bear down. Everyone can just fuck up about Caleb Williams. Up. It was 1 touch, it was 1 drive, it's the preseason. Bro, shut up. Because I guarantee you, if it took him more than that 1 drive, everybody would say, oh, Caleb is struggling, Caleb don't know what he's doing, the Bears should have kept Justin Fields. My man's walked on the field to the end zone and went to go have a seat. Second drive was stopped short, I'll admit, but all in all, he looks much more impressive than Ben Johnson. Tyson Bagent also looked competent out there leading a couple of touchdown drives. Tyson Bagent even looked pretty nice out there leading the touchdown drive. He even had a nice escape leading to a completion, so I love to see it. The Bills clearly underestimated the Bears playing with their secondary quarterback. That or they just didn't feel the need for their starters to play. But the Bills struggled against the Bears offense and defense the entire game. The Bills weren't even to get so much as a field goal on there. Bears continuing to show that they are coming back 2025 with a reckoning, so I cannot wait to see it, and I can't wait to see you guys eat all them words. CW for the win. And I ain't talking about the Flash. Bear down. Bengals put belt to ass on the Commanders. I'm playing. But seriously, either the Commanders defense look really good or the Bengals offense is really trash, because that was a pretty poor display by the Bengals O-line. Joe Burrow was out there running for his life, and don't get me wrong, there was nothing wrong with Joe Burrow's play. He was just as accurate, just as potent with his arm as possible, but he just had no protection, running around in circles like, what? They were able to get a pass interference call that got them up to about the 10-inch line. And you can tell that Joe, after that very frustrating second drive, that he was like, all right, man, put me back out there, because these folks are going to be saying something's wrong with me, and I need to let these people know I'm still him. But yeah, the Bengals defense? Holy shit, they're atrocious. The D-line is just clumsy and lacks any type of presence, like, at all. The corners all miss their tackles. Linebackers more like line lackers, line slackers, line snackers, because they are not backing nothing. And they're still debating paying Trey. You got almost $100 million on the offensive side of the ball, but you out here struggling to put any money in your defense, and you're wondering why you can't make the playoffs. But who am I? I'm just a guy. And I want to hear what you think. Let me know what it is that you thought about this NFL preseason week. Do you think that the Bears are going to be going on a run? Are you excited to be able to see what these teams do next week? I am super pumped for this 2025 season, but more importantly, I'm pumped to hear what it is that you guys think. So leave a comment, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you guys next week. Hey guys, it's Tony with the TD World. Thanks for checking out this video. Remember, don't run, don't hide, don't be shy. Just like, comment, please subscribe. See you next time.
For me dealing with the stress, for me dealing with the pain, trying to find a way.